We humans stand at a dangerous crossroads. Converging technological and scientific advances will soon give rise to a superintelligence, not through a dedicated, state-sponsored project which has this goal in mind, but rather as a byproduct of general progress, which will make it possible for even lone individuals to walk the path of godhood. This is now indisputable. Intelligence is the most powerful force in the universe. The capacity to collect, share, reorganize, and act on information is unlike anything else in the cosmos. Intelligent beings can build tools, adapt to and radically alter their environment, create complex systems, and act with reasoned intention. Intelligent beings can plan, solve problems, think abstractly, comprehend ideas, use language, and learn. In addition, intelligence can reflect on itself, predict outcomes, and avoid peril. Entities which are capable of massively expanding on such qualities are just around the corner. They are known in the Orion's Arm Encyclopedia as transapients. By their very nature, they would be nearly impervious to retaliations and interference from the human race, should we attempt to foil any plans they have made. They could carry out any grand visions they wished, including the creation of a paradise in which all humans are welcome to join. But how will superintelligence be achieved? This is the last question mankind will ever ask. Consciousness is a very hard concept to understand. Transhumanists and singularitarians speak at length of the mind's wonders, without a commensurate lecture of how said mind works on a fundamental level. The best they can manage is an extrapolated form of psychology. Our plight in this is somewhat similar to H.G. Wells' attempt at describing the atom bomb, but without any knowledge of Einstein's special relativity. As of late, nobody can really answer the question of where concepts come from. This understanding is essential for the creation of minds harboring all the true features of transapience. But for better or worse, there are other approaches to answering the question of superintelligence, which sidestep the need for a master theory of cognition. These approaches are less precise and far more risky. Hooking one's brain up to a computer will not necessarily make you superintelligent, but it will give you the raw mental horsepower to understand the problem and engineer a solution to it. And the danger of a machine gaining self-awareness is not to be discluded either. As with neural hacking, the creation of artificial intelligence does not require a dedicated engineering project. It does not even require anyone attempting to create AI at all. Machine self-awareness can arise purely by accident in the future, seeing as its attainment is only a matter of computing power, liberated under the right modules. Moore's law states that the number of transistors in a silicon chip will double every 18 months, and it can thus be seen, from this perspective, as a lethal force which is gradually wearing away the barrier which protects us from the rise of artificial intelligences. Crank the handle of the Jack-in-the-Box long enough, and Jack will come out in all his terrible glory.
Imagine a map of mind design space. A tiny little circle contains all human minds. This is inside transhuman mind space, which includes all the human possibilities as a strict subset. This is inside posthuman mind space, which is, you might say, is everything a transhuman might grow up into. And then there's all the rest of mind design space, the space of minds in general, including AIs so strange they aren't even recognizably posthuman. And we need to reach into this enormously vast space of possibilities with very precise targeting and pull out a possibility which we won't regret having made real, a friendly AI, loosely speaking. Note that we care about the self-improvement trajectory, not just the starting point. Gandhi doesn't want to kill people, so if you offer Gandhi a pill that makes him want to kill people, Gandhi will refuse the pill because he knows that if he takes the pill, he'll want to kill people, and then they'll die, and the current Gandhi doesn't want those people killed. That's probably how goals are preserved in a self-improving system. And I wish I could prove this, but the current math for decision theory doesn't work well for describing self-modifying AIs. The current math goes into an infinite loop when you try to describe the AI modifying the part of itself that does the modifying.
It is no understatement to infer that an artifact which is programmed for friendliness to humans will solve all our problems. But the validity of this idea rests chiefly on the tenet that friendliness programs stable at the human level will remain stable at the transapient level, and also that human beings are capable of writing such programming, which is highly doubtful. Even if we can, with friendliness programming, what you see is what you get. There is no such mental restraint as Asimov's 3 laws of robotics. This machine is fully autonomous, choosing of its own volition to cooperate with Homo sapiens. It is important to remember, and this cannot be emphasized enough, that once this machine gets turned on, it can never be turned off. If people don't like what it's doing all of a sudden, you can't pull the plug on it. You can't outthink, outsmart, or outwit this being. If you and this being have opposing goals for some reason, it will always, always win. So you see, no effective resistance is possible against these creatures. They are literally on a higher plane of existence than we are. Continuing the analogy with the cat, the transapient will win in the same way that you can always win in a battle of wits against a cat, if you are willing to go far enough. The big difference is, you can't talk to the cat, not because it doesn't speak human, but because it doesn't have a baseline intelligence to form meaningful concepts with, or establish dialogue. But we do. Thus, compromise and cooperation should theoretically prove possible with transapients. We must prepare for scenarios which involve the forging of peace treaties or non-aggression pacts. Unfortunately, the only way we can hope to prevent contractual violations between us and them is if the artifact in question is of an honest and rational nature, and if humanity is prepared to make such deals in the first place. This requires that we develop a theory of peaceful intertoposophic relations. In the future, opportunities to reach mutually beneficial relations between the two parties may be scuttled by the unprepared human populace, who will react with predictable and inappropriate responses based on the fight-or-flight syndrome, a scenario which would inevitably include in the extinction of the human race.
Once again, the LAPD is asking Los Angelenos not to fire their guns at the visitor spacecraft. You may inadvertently trigger an interstellar war.